7:18 of the Matt and Crank program. Time for my cousin Adam Calvert, our legal expert. Adam, how do you prefer your potatoes? Mashed, scalloped, fried?
Baked.
I think it all depends on the context. What are you eating your potatoes with?
Well, I mean, I'm just saying this is an occurrence. It's occurring in a vacuum. There's no other considerations. You can have one dish of potatoes. What's your go-to potato?
Ooh.
I think mashed.
Mashed is your go-to?
I guess. Are you counting French fries?
Yeah, I count that as fried potatoes.
Okay, I'll go with fried potatoes then.
You said you'd go with the with French fries and fried potatoes?
That's right.
Okay.
What about you? What's the consensus around the studio?
Well, this isn't about me. This is actually a test because you can actually tell someone's IQ level based on their go-to potato.
Really?
Now, geniuses always go for scalloped. I'm a scalloped man
if
myself.
I'm eating just potatoes by themselves, nothing else, I'm going scalloped myself.
The right above retard level, so IQ of about 60 to 75. Those are the mashed people. Fried, you're in a solid 90 to 100 range, so not bad.
Okay, all right.
But
I thought fried would be lower because.
Yeah, you'd think so. You'd think so, wouldn't you?
Fried foods are usually considered in the, like lower income, something like that,
Yeah, I can see why you'd say that. But, I mean, this is all science. This isn't me talking. And then, of course, your baked potato is going to be your 100 to 115 range. And then your scalloped are typically 130 to where I'm at, which is 230 IQ. So, anyway, just a little potato facts for you in the morning.
I don't even know how to transition from this.
I'm Irish, so I know a lot about potatoes.
Yes, very true.
Very passionate about it.
All right, well, let's get into this. This kind of encompasses a lot of things we've talked about over the last couple of weeks. Dr. Phil, we always talk about Dr. Phil, but he and his producers are headed to court again for a lawsuit. They're answering claims from several women who allege they were held captive against their will and forced to be in a room with a naked man. The women signed up for the show believing they were getting counseling from Dr. Phil himself. On the show in question, which was filmed back in September 2007 and aired in December 2007, 6 individuals of both genders were allegedly put in a mock house on a soundstage and not permitted to leave. Their cell phones and laptops are said to have been taken from them. On the third night at the Dr. Phil house, Dr. Phil came on a monitor and announced, "Here's your dinner guest." A fully naked man is said to have appeared at the front door. The women were shocked and horrified, and they ran away, locking themselves in rooms. The TV crew allegedly laughed at them and then refused to let them leave the house, even after they demanded to exit. Now, the producers are claiming that this is all entertainment, and they are protected by the freedom of speech, protected by the First Amendment. The women are saying, yes, they signed releases and disclaimers and everything, but nothing like this was specifically stated in the disclaimer, so they're saying that's null and void. Where does this stand? What is the exact claim these women have? What's the court case? Are they protected by freedom of speech? I feel like if they think they're going in for therapy, this isn't what they signed up for. But then I go to the Mr. Miyagi thing, like the Karate Kid excuse here, saying, well, they don't necessarily understand the therapy because they didn't let it play out. What's your take?
Yeah, that was like 6 questions.
I know.
I'll see what I can do here. Defendants made a motion to dismiss the lawsuit. It's called an anti-SLAPP motion, which I think is pretty cool in itself. What they're trying to say is that this lawsuit is trying to prevent their freedom of speech rights by broadcasting the show. So the plaintiffs allege that a whole bunch of different things like fraud, misrepresentation, etc. And the court said the lawsuit can go forward. And the reason they said that is even though that there were these releases, the defendants told them all these promises about what the show was going to be about, and they just didn't follow through on that.
Okay, but I mean, I would, from the producer standpoint, if they told them what the show was going to be about, then the show couldn't happen because they would have let all the cat out of the bag.
I'm sorry, you're saying if the producers
explicitly told them every detail of the show, then the therapy, quote unquote, that they were intending to provide these women with, it wouldn't be there. There wouldn't be an opportunity for that therapy to happen because obviously this was supposed to be some sort of shock factor. And if they told them exactly what was going to happen, then they wouldn't have gotten the reaction out of them.
Oh, sure. Okay. Well, the therapists or the producers don't have to tell them exactly everything that's going to be on the show. But for them to say, you will be getting therapy with Dr. Phil, but Dr. Phil is not actually doing the therapy, or to say that you will, to not tell them that they won't be allowed to leave the house or communicate with the outside world, those things are kind of important, and not telling them those things is a problem versus, not telling them the specifics of the therapy, which they could get away with.
Well, the producers are saying that this was an entertainment thing. This is an entertainment show, which kind of dilutes the whole notion that there's going to be therapy involved. So if you're signing up for an entertainment show, essentially you're signing up for a reality show, aren't you kind of subject to whatever they do to you at this point? I mean, as long as it's not illegal, I mean, you've signed legal documents saying you're willing to participate in whatever manner. I mean, I'm starting to try to see. Yesterday I was thinking that these women might have a case. Now I'm thinking they don't have a case, mainly because the producers are saying that this is an entertainment show. This isn't a therapy show. Yes, it's guised and that we're going to give you some sort of therapeutic advice, but it's an entertainment show. And if you sign up for a reality show, I feel like now you have to go through with it because this is what you've done. I mean, they pay them to be on these shows. Do they have a case? I mean, obviously, I guess the court appealed, so I guess they do have a case. But what can they stand to win from this or gain from this?
There is an interesting question here that the court had to look at, which was whether or not this is a reality show and what kind of representations were made about whether this is a reality show. Because the plaintiffs are saying that we told we were getting therapy, that this is not a reality show. The defendants are saying, well, yeah, it is kind of a reality show. They're living in a house. Well, might not necessarily be a traditional reality show like Jersey Shore. There is a focus to this show, and that's providing the therapy. So the plaintiffs knew what they were getting into. Now, if you say it's not a reality show, then there's the question of, well, is this therapy? Is there a confidential relationship here between the producers or the doctors that are on the show and the plaintiffs, which would mean that they're held to a higher standard of care. They have to basically not do this kind of stuff to them. They can't misrepresent what's going on.
I'm just wondering, win or lose, if this kind of sinks Dr. Phil, because he's been going on for years and years, providing therapy, and now if the producers are forced to now define the show as reality television and entertainment, essentially that kind of that destroys whatever credibility Dr. Phil's ever had left, and it's really nothing but trash television. It's been trash television for a while, but then it's nothing but the Jerry Springer show with some sort of quote unquote moral backing to it.
Exactly, and that's defendants are kind of in a tough spot here because they are arguing that this show is not therapy. But it's like, doesn't that really undermine your credibility if you're going to say, okay, these shows aren't really therapy then?
Well, I don't think it really does anything to credibility because people that watch that show don't. Anytime I've ever watched Dr. Phil, I know why I'm watching it. Everyone that watches the show knows why they're watching it. And the people that actually volunteer to go on these shows are so obviously mentally disturbed and or they just want the money that I don't think it matters to them one way or another. I don't think it hurts them. Everyone understands this about it.
Well,
has anyone ever watched Dr. Phil? Like, I'm really going to change. I'm going to change my life today by watching some Dr. Phil.
Yeah, but now you're talking about the people that watch the show, and I'm thinking of the people that go on the show, and if they're kind of mentally disturbed in some way, which would be the reason they're going on the show, they probably don't have 2 feet in reality. So it's almost like Dr. Phil is misrepresenting himself and taking advantage of these people for ratings.
Yeah, but I'm saying those people, if you're the kind of person that's going to go on national television to disclose the most intimate details about your personal life, then I don't think you're going to be stopped because there's some news story about a court case somewhere involving Dr. Phil. Not to mention the fact that most of these people go on these shows because they get paid, and they want to get paid, and that's why they go. So that's not going to change either. So I don't think it affects either. It's one of those cases where you don't really feel sorry for either party concerned. Because on one hand, you have Dr. Phil taking advantage of mentally disturbed individuals for entertainment's sake. But on the other hand, you have idiots that volunteer to go on TV to disclose their embarrassing details about their personal life. So, in either cases, I think it's one of those times that either one can get screwed. Who cares?
So, Adam, what are they claiming? What are they trying to win here? Are they trying to go for money? I mean, what can they stand to win if they actually, do prevail in this court case?
Sure. They're trying to get money, surprisingly.
Yeah.
They're claiming fraud, negligent misrepresentation. They're claiming that they were emotionally disturbed by, having to eat dinner with this naked man and And my favorite thing is that they were asked at one point what their least favorite foods were, and then served only those foods. That just gets me. I mean, I think that's, I don't know, it's just hilarious.
So I'd have to
They're
eat
claiming that they're emotionally distressed because they had to eat their least favorite foods. But my whole point is that I know we just went into this whole reality TV versus therapy thing, but this is some form of therapy at least. We can at least agree on that. Shouldn't you not like therapy if you've got a problem with whatever they're on that show for?
Well, these people are obviously money grubbers, so if they win the court case, that'll be good therapy for them. They'll get their money. Adam Calvert, my cousin Adam, thanks a lot, man. Hey, the case that you're working right now or whatever, is that on a bifurcated trial?
It depends on, I know bifurcated trials, sure.
Oh, wow, well done.
Why you ask that?
I'm just wondering because I'm kind of into
looking up terms.
I'm into law a little bit. I took anyway. I don't want to get into it, but I took some legal classes in New Hampshire a few years back, and anyway. But I hope you guys come down to a consolidated action. So
are you just on Google right now or something?
No,
Googling legal terms.
No, but the compensatory
some Latin ones out there.
The compensatory damages, I hope, aren't too cross-examined. All right.
Next week, Adam, I want you to come. I want you to quiz Matt on some legal terms.
All right, that's good. Actually, I'm looking forward to that.
Go toe-to-toe, one legal expert against another. Cage match.
Battle the experts, huh?
All right, man. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, guys, take care.